Of Saturday Morning Coffee with Back to Basics Dog Training. As always, it is a pleasure for me to be here each and every Saturday morning. And for those of you who know me, those of you who don't know me, I'm head trainer Leon from Back to Basics Dog Training. And this is a weekly platform that I come out every Saturday morning at 11 o'clock on the Back to Basics Facebook page and YouTube channel, and the Remember Me Rescue Facebook page and Foster something rescue page also through Remember Me Rescue. So on this platform, I'm here to help answer any of your dog training questions. And as always, I try to start off with a subject um, of stuff that I've heard about during the week, or maybe just saw on Facebook or whatever it may be. Um, and as always, if you're watching now or later on the replay, shoot me a comment. Let me know that you're here watching. Let me know where you're watching from. It's greatly appreciated. I'd like to know, who's here, who's following this, and of course, if you have any questions, pop them into the comments, and we'll do our best to answer each and every single question that comes through. A couple exciting things that are happening next week, Thursday evening at 7 o'clock. I'm going to be doing my Animal Talk show. It's been a couple of weeks since I've done one of those. It's going to be an interview with it's called for the Center for Discovery, where they work with special needs adults and children, and they use animals for therapy. I'm going to be talking to people that have actually trained some rescue miniature horses for therapy work for the adults and the children with special needs, and it's a real great cause, and I hope everybody tunes in. If you're on my Facebook page, I posted it yesterday or the day before. Share it with your friends and neighbors around the country and around the world. It's going to bring light to hopefully educate people on how even rescue horses, rescue dogs can be used to help society. And it's a really great platform. So like I said, if you Thursday night, 7 o'clock Eastern time, it's going to be a great platform. I think I'm hoping it's going to be educational. It should be a lot of fun. And we're going to talk about some of the success stories they've had with some rescue miniature horses. Um, is there a good breed used for service dogs, Cocker Spaniel? To me, any dog can perform a service if trained properly. It's not, to me, a breed specific. I mean, if you ask some people, yes, they're going to say the labs, the golden retrievers, and dogs like that are much better because of the temperament and their energy levels. The key to any dog that you're going to use for a service type of dog, in my opinion, is one, you want a calm dog, a calm puppy from puppyhood, because you got to really start the process of puppyhood, not necessarily set in stone that you have to. There are rescue dogs that would make great service dogs, depending on what type of service dog you're looking for. But if the training is done properly, no matter what the breed is, they can perform the task that they're taught for service. I wouldn't use a Cocker Spaniel for a dog that needs to help somebody get off a couch where we have to use their bodies as like a wedge to help them get up or something. I wouldn't use a dog like that. Depending on what you need the service dog for, any dog can do it. There is no specific breed. The key is the energy of the dog. Like in anything else I talk about, anybody who's followed me for a long time on here, I talk about energy, energy, energy. If I was to train for service dog use, and something I am looking into doing, um, the first thing I would do when I'm looking at the puppies, we got a litter of puppies, I'm going to choose a dog to become a service dog. I'm going to look for the energy. I'm going to look for a lower level energy dog. I don't want a higher energy dog because they tend to be hyper and happy-go-lucky, goofy, and it's very hard to give them a job to do. So you have to really do your research um, on the energy level of the dog and the specific task you need this dog to do. So you're asking about a service dog. What would be the task of the service dog you're looking for? Would be my first question. Again, if you're just looking for, if you're looking for a dog that can help somebody get up off a couch, like kind of stiffen up their legs so we can push off. That's one breed type of dog. If you're looking for just an all-around service dog, a dog that can go around and help pick up things that you drop things, depending on what the service dog is. And keep in mind, guys, PTSD, blackout, seizures. To me, any dog, it's not my area of expertise. But to me, any dog could be trained to do that. Because you're talking about blackouts, PSTD, and all that. You're talking the emotional support type of dog. Therapy service dog. Um, Emotional. I can't think of the right word, so forgive me. Blackouts and seizures. The blackouts and seizures scares me. I think I would personally go with a larger breed type of dog. So when a person has a seizure or blacks out and the dog senses this, especially with the seizure coming first, they put themselves in a position where they can stop the person from hitting their head or doing something like that. Um, from what I understand, again, that's not my area of expertise. German Shepherds do very well at that. I believe labs would do very well at that. There's a bunch of things, dogs. I would definitely have to do a lot more research on this for you. If it's something you're interested in me guiding you through the process, I'd be happy to. That the dog does require special training that has to go through somebody who is certified to do that type of therapy training. That's not, again, not what I'm doing right now. It is something I'm very interested in and I will be working on in the future, on how to get my certification to do that. But there are plenty of organizations out there that can help and guide you. But I would definitely, based on what I'm seeing, not so much the PSTD, but the blackouts and the seizures, um, definitely look for a larger breed dog that can use its body to help that person. So if they're having a seizure and they're hitting their head on the floor, they can position themselves there to keep them safe. Um, I worked with a dog that was very good at it in Napoli. Uh, Yes, please. Okay. So shoot me a message, or I'll try to respond to this afterwards, and we'll get in contact. Obedience training is always crucial, guys. I say any dog that we're going to make into a therapy dog or a service dog or an emotional support dog or whatever should go through. Besides the basic obedience training, the American Canine Good Citizen Test, for puppies, it's called the STAR program. The AKC Canine Good Citizen, which is for the adult dogs, and they have an urban and a community test. There's like 4 tests they have it in their thing, which basically makes dogs Canine Good Citizen. I am an evaluator for them, and I do the training for Canine Good Citizen. Personally, I think every dog should go through the process and become certified. I mean, AKC has definitely over the years lightened up the rules a little bit. It used to be they had to be purebred dogs, they had to be AKC born. Now they're allowing it for the mutts and the half breed dogs. The American Canine Good Citizen is a phenomenal program because it's doing exactly that. It's teaching the dogs how to be good citizens. Cindy asked, this time of the year, the squirrels are crazy. Are there any tips for keeping your dog calm while walking your dogs? Okay, great question. And there is another thing I want to get to. I will get to it in a little bit. But I'm going to talk about the squirrels, and I'm going to use my dog Zoe as an example because it's a perfect example. Zoe is a part hound dog. She has a high prey drive. And when we lived up north and we had the yard, any squirrel in the yard, she went after. She tried to climb the tree. She tried to get them. Bum, 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 bum. But remember, when I talk about the walk with any dog, the walk is their job. That's different than playing in the backyard to me. So when I was training Zoe and we were walking, I didn't care if a squirrel passed right in front of us. She had to remain calm because on the walk, that's not her job to chase squirrels. It's so by starting the process, like I explained in my YouTube series on how to leash train your dog, if you start the process of the walk calm, which means putting the leash on the dog only when they're calm, the threshold management, which is crucial, going out the front door or the back door, whatever door you're going out to, calmly, focus more on you, the human, because you're in charge. You'll see, good morning, Michelle, Athena, and Rob, I think, yeah. Uh, you'll see that when the dog spots a squirrel, you spot the squirrel. If you watch your dog, you catch them very early in the process. You check up, nope, this isn't the time to play this game. We're not chasing squirrels on the walk. So when I walk Zoe, be it the squirrels around, cats around, anything, birds, it doesn't matter. She knows that on that leash, that's her job. She's not allowed to chase. She doesn't have permission. She's not going to chase. But you have to start the process before you even get outside because, like I've said before, guys, if you can't control putting the leash on the dog, threshold management, you can't control the rest of the walk. So you want to stop that excitement pattern before you get outside. So in Cindy's case, the question she's asking, again, if you do those first two steps, put the leash on the dog should be calm, threshold management, going out the door like ladies and gentlemen, you'll see, good morning, Donna. You'll see that that prey drive isn't as important because you're training the dog to focus on you for direction, looking to you for direction, which is what they should be doing when they're in the outside world. Same way we expect our children to look at us for guidance in the outside world. How our kids play in the backyard is different than how we expect them to play in public. And you can expect that from your dog, but it takes time. And every dog is a predator. So they have a prey drive. Some just have higher prey drives than others. It takes time, and you have to have the patience, and you have to disagree with the behavior of chasing the squirrel on the walk, and don't move forward again until they're focused back on you calmly, and then you move forward, and that's your praise for, hey, you're calm, let's move forward. And the more times you do this, and the repetition and the consistency that you do this, you'll see that it definitely helps. I can walk Zoe out on the leash, anything can pass us, and I don't even worry about it anymore. So it was a great question, thank you. So the subject I want to talk about, because actually somebody texted me this morning, they're having a problem with the crating their puppy, their dog, I think her dog is more that tween, whatever it's called, preteen, because dogs age differently than us. And the dog shows some anxiety in the crate. And it's something that I think more people need to understand. One, I think a lot of people make huge mistakes in the very beginning when they get the puppy. They don't use the crate enough. So the puppy doesn't understand it. And a lot of people put the puppy in only at certain times. I'm putting you in the crate because I'm leaving. I'm putting you in the crate because I'm leaving. I'm putting you in the crate because I'm going to bed. I'm putting you in the crate because I'm going to bed. And the dog starts associating every time you put me in this crate. And I think we had this problem with Donna, with Stark, if I'm not mistaken. The dog is associating with you, their pack, leaving. Well, hell, guys, I wouldn't want to be in there either. So we need to desensitize some of these dogs, especially as they get older, to the crate. There's a video somewhere on my YouTube channel, and I think I have it on my YouTube channel, or it's on my Facebook. I'll find it today, and I'll post it in the comments on this on the replay on this, where I worked with Duke, the rescue dog from the Hempstead shelter, who was used to his big dog run at the shelter, but he really wasn't gaga with the crate. So I worked a process with him that worked very good. He was food motivated, and it makes it easier definitely if your dog is food motivated. One of the things you want to do is, with your leash, you guide your dog to the crate and use a word. And people can use whatever words they want, guys. Kennel up, kennel, bed. One dog I worked with, we say night night, the dog would go into its crate. Another dog was go home and it would go into its crate. So whatever words you want to use, that's up to you, but you have to stay consistent. And what you do is you guide the dog into the crate. He is good in the crate except for when we put a bed in there and he tears it apart. So no, more so when we aren't home. Yeah, it's his frustration. We put the beds in the crates. That makes us feel better, guys. They really don't need it. Sorry. Remember, they'll sleep on the ground in the dirt, so they really don't look for, they don't need all the cushy comforts we give them. It makes us feel real good. So how I worked with Duke is, what I did is I guided him to the crate. I used the word kennel up, and I guided him with the leash, a little leash pressure, because he wasn't too thrilled about going in there. Once he got in there, he loves it when I say night night. He is happy to go to his crate. Beautiful. So that's the word that works for you. So I guided Duke into the crate. He'd get in there. I'd praise him if he didn't try to go right out. I'd give him a treat, and then right away, as soon as I know, okay, you're not, I give him a release word, and his release word was break. So I'd be like, Duke, break, and I guide him out. And as soon as he came out, I gave him a treat. And I repeat the process. And I based it on how long I kept him in the crate based on what I was seeing from him. Because you got to work up to duration. And never did I shut the door in the very beginning, the crate door. So what I was doing with him is, if he tried to get out on his own, I would use my leash, nope, crate or kennel up or whatever word I was using. And he had to go, and he's only allowed to come out when I asked him to come out. And there were times as the process went on, the crate door would be open. I'd be on the leash. I'd be 6 feet away because I didn't invite him out. He wasn't allowed out. Then I would invite him out. He'd get praised and he'd get his treat. So what he was learning, what he was putting to do, oh, when I go into the crate, I get praise. When I'm told to go in, I get praise and I get a treat. And oh, when I hear that sound break, I come out, I get a treat, I get praise. But when I don't hear that sound, I don't get it. And then what I did with him is just slowly work up to duration, and then slowly I shut the door, didn't latch it. And I made him stay in there till we realized it's okay to stay in there, even with the cage closed. And then I would let him out and repeat the process till eventually I was able to start latching the door. But it was a labor of love. It took time to get him in there. And the best thing about Duke now to this day, from the last time I spoke to the people that adopted him, now he is Luke. Uh, he in my house when I had him, and I understand from what he's doing in the house where he is now his forever home, he actually puts himself in the crate at night to go to bed. About 9 o'clock at night, he just goes in the crate and goes to bed. That's it. He's done for the night, for the day. So he actually has learned because we took the time to desensitize him to whatever the anxiety was in the crate. We desensitized him over a period of time to understand the crate is actually a really, really good thing. And because in my heart of hearts, I know putting him in the crate was the right thing for him, I didn't have any anxiety about it. Oh my God, he's going to freak out or anything like that. No, I didn't go with that. I went with the attitude, this is the best thing in the world. And he accepted it. And every dog's an individual. So what the key is, you invite the dog into the crate, you praise and you treat. Eventually, you want to go away from the treats, of course, and then you invite the dog out, and you work up to duration. So first, the dog may only be in the crate for seconds, and you're going to invite him out. And then eventually, 3 seconds turns to 5 seconds, and you're going to invite him out. And then 5 seconds turns to 10 seconds, and you're going to invite him out. And then that 10 seconds, and so on and so forth. You build up to duration, and then in the training process, what you do is you put the dog in the crate, you shut the doors, you're not holding the leash at this point, and you just walk away out of sight. Come back in, show him that, hey, even though I'm putting you in there, I'm coming back for you, pal. You're not stuck in there for the rest of your life. Open it. He can't come out until you give him a release word. So even if that door is wide open, unless you say your release word, they're not allowed out. They come out on their own. You block them or you shut the door. Don't slam the door in their face. Nope, because we're going to use our discipline word. Nope. Open the thing, and then the dog's name and the release word. So in Duke's case, it was Duke, break, Duke, kennel up. So the dog starts to learn, okay, the only way I'm allowed out when you put me in there is when you give me permission. And it takes away the anxiety because we're going through the whole process. So we're taking away that whatever is causing the anxiety, the excessive barking, the panting, the drooling, it's a form of anxiety in the dog that most times, in my opinion, it's because people rush the process of crate training and don't take the time to do it right, and definitely don't do it when they're little cute puppies because they rather hold them all day long than put them in a crate. So it does work. So I hope that answers. I don't know if she's on right now. I don't always see the YouTube comments when I do this. I think she said she was going to go through YouTube on this. I hope this answers our question. You can always text me later. Let me know if this answered the question or we need to set up a session. But it's really, really important because people don't understand how good the crate is. Another dog I worked with recently down here, she loves her crate. She just goes into it when she's ready to go to bed, same as Duke did, because the crate has been associated with a positive, not necessarily. Not necessarily, like I said, I think the biggest mistake is we only put the dogs in the crate when we're leaving, we're going to bed, and we're leaving them. And what I tell people to do all the time is no, put the dog in the crate throughout the day when you're home. Put the dog in the crate when you need to do something. I need to vacuum. I don't want the dog under my feet. Put the dog in the crate. But don't do it because I got that. I got to get going. Your energy is going to make the difference. Donna says, I know this is off topic, but a huge thank you, Leon. You're welcome. I'm sitting here outside on the deck listening, but most importantly, I'm hanging out with Stark, just enjoying time outside in the backyard, distressing in a stressful world. Thank you so much. Guys, that's what it's about. Donna, it's an absolute pleasure what you've accomplished with Stark. I just guided you and your family. Alex, Rich, Brian. I just guided you guys. You guys took the ball. You ran with it. It's a huge, huge success story. I know when we started the process with Stark at your house, because I worked with Stark before your house. Um, I don't think you ever saw this day where you can just sit in your yard on your deck, enjoying being there with your dog. It was a stressful situation when I first got there. He had a lot of energy. He thought he was allowed to do whatever the hell he wanted, and he was making life miserable. And because you followed through and you did this, stayed consistent, and you used your energy to control more of it than your words or the body and all that. This is what the goal is, guys. This comment here that Donna put up. I think there's a way I can actually show it. I think it may not show, but here's the comment, guys. And it's just a matter of taking the time. And remember that every dog is an individual. And if we keep in mind that every dog is an individual, and knowing that it may have taken us X amount of time with Stark, it'll take Y amount of time with your dog, but it works. You just have to stick to it. Um, and the consistency in the human world is very, very hard, and I understand that. We have bad days, like Donna said, trying to de-stress in a stressful world. It's a stressful time we're living through. I mean, there's so much going on in our world, and it's stressful. Um, Utilize your dogs as your therapy point and your Zen time, and forget about the outside world right now when you're working with your dogs. You'll get a much more rewarding feeling in your heart of hearts. Um, because when you're working with your dog, that's what you should be focused on, and the outside world and the outside distractions and the BS that's going on. What we see on the news every day in the media, and depending on which media station you listen to, you get different reports on the same damn thing. All that. It's such static clutter in my brain. I don't have time for it. So working with the dogs gives you the opportunity to forget about the outside world. Focus. Um, I'll def. Oh my God, guys! Can I show this? I'll put my phone up there to show what this happy-go-lucky, crazy knucklehead that we were dealing with is doing right now, sitting outside on a beautiful fall morning. It looks like on Long Island. Can I put it up there, Donna? Just so I can show people. I'll put my phone to the thing. Um, so I hope you guys can see this. I'll try to get it out of the way of the light. But here's this crazy lucky dog just laying his little head on the chair, on the leg of the chair. It looks like enjoying being with mommy. Um, that's what it's all about, guys. Dogs should help us get rid of the outside world and all that outside clutter and that noise and that static that unfortunately we have to live with. But that's why I talk about this thing with the energy. Energy is the most important form of communication. If you come home from a stressful day at work, and you're going to, because we're human, look at how your dog reacts to you. But Stark totally reacts differently if Donna or Richard or the kids come home and they're stressed. He reacts differently. Um, Dogs understand that. Look what happens, if you're upset, your dogs come over and they treat you differently because they understand your energy, and you don't have to. The best thing about them, unlike humans, is we don't even have to talk to them; they understand us. Um, so again, your energy can make the difference, and it's the same thing with this crate thing I'm talking about. If you're going through the steps of what I'm talking about robotically, putting the dog into the crate because I have to put dog in crate. If I was that dog on the other end of the leash, I wouldn't want to go in the crate either. Oh, I'm gonna put you in the crate. It's the best thing. This is your bedroom. Yay! Great. And you make it into a fun experience, not only for the dog, but for yourself. It works. Athena has gotten wonderful about going into our crate when we give her food, but she no longer attacks us through the crate. Beautiful. We have started to leave her out when we leave, and she is behaving right because she's understanding. Guys, the crate is a wonderful thing. It protects our houses and all that, but it also teaches them to respect things. Um, it teaches them not to destroy things. The reason crate training is important, one is puppies, so they don't pee or poop all over the house. The rule of thumb is that dogs don't pee or poop where they sleep. But it also should be teaching them to respect areas. And it starts in a small area. How can I expect a dog or a child to respect my whole entire house if I can't get them to respect the crate? How can I expect my dog to walk really, really good and calm and healing and all that stuff if they bolt out the door at 700 miles an hour? Everything is a process in a learning stage. I think the biggest mistake we make is we want to give these dogs freedom. We want them to, oh, you're in your forever home. I don't care if you get a puppy or you rescue a dog that's a couple of years old, and we give them the keys to the castle. They haven't earned a damn thing yet. Let them learn to respect one area before you allow them into a different area. Again, I'm going to use the Duke example. Duke was in the crate for 2 weeks in my basement. He only came out of the crate for those 2 weeks when we fed him and when we worked him or walked him for the bathroom or whatever, or we were in training mode. For 2 weeks, that's all he knew. And then I brought the crate upstairs and he was in the crate in my living room with us. And slowly throughout the process of the training, I would allow him more and more freedom. When I first let him have freedom upstairs, he was on a leash. He was tethered to me. He didn't have freedom of the whole downstairs of the house. In my yard that I had 3/4 of an acre. I built a dog run for Duke. I put a 32 by 32 dog run in the yard, and that was where he was allowed. He had to earn the freedom to go into the 3/4 of an acre. And I worked on his recall because I didn't know what he knew. So when I called him, I needed him to come back. Um, but everything is a process, and I think a huge disconnect with us and our dogs is we tend to rush everything instead of taking the time because we're doing everything with our heart. We want to give them the freedom. We want them to feel comfortable. We want them to do this. We want them, but it's not the right thing for the dog, guys. Yeah, boundaries is the crucial thing for dogs. Discipline, boundaries, structure, whatever words we want to put on it, because they're just words. Um, are really, really important to the dog, more so than that freedom we want to give them. You know how many times I've heard people with their 6-month-old, 5, 6, 7-month-old puppies who, because they have a yard, just let the dog out in the yard? And my question that I always ask when I hear people say that, well, would you let your 2-year-old out in the yard unsupervised? I wouldn't. Why am I letting my puppy out there unsupervised? Well, they're 6 months old. They're not a puppy. Yeah, they're still a puppy. Up until they're about 2 years old, in my opinion, they're kind of puppyish. They should be supervised. They will get in trouble. They'll dig up your yard. They'll find something to put in their damn mouth that they probably shouldn't have. So if you start slower when you get a new dog, start slow. Start with the crate. Let them earn the privilege to go to other parts of the house over time, because this way you're more relevant because you're allowing them from here to here to here, and they have to respect it. So when I walk a dog, and I think we did this with Stark, if I'm not mistaken, is when we allowed Stark into the den, I think I said keep him on a leash and walk him in as if you're going through a threshold, so he understands. Oh, going into the den doesn't mean I can play. Athena, Michelle says Athena still gets excited in the yard if she hears a dog next door, but she has been listening when I have her sit. Yep, and tell her to come away from the fence. Baby steps, absolutely, guys. I talk about this, and Michelle, great point, because it's actually real beneficial to people. When I'm talking about dogs that are reactive or doing something you don't like them doing, the question Cindy asked about the squirrel earlier, same theory. So you're walking the dog sees something, you're going to check up the dog if they get excited. Nope. Give them something else to do. Redirect them with it, not with food, redirect them with something else to do. And I usually say, nope, sit. Oh, they followed that. Great. But now That's obedience. Where are they focused? If I tell them to sit and they're focused on the dog barking on the other side of the fence, or the squirrel, or the leaf blowing in the window, whatever they're blowing, um, you have to wait till they focus back to you for the next job you're going to give them. And the next job could be good. Let's continue our walk. In this case, good. Um, um, I'm sorry. I was looking at a comment that I shouldn't have looked at yet. You want them to learn to focus more on you, and the reward for focusing on you. So in Athena's case, barking at the dog, sit, come. She's listening. She's focusing on you. Praise the crap out of her. Bring her inside. Work with her outside. Whatever you want to do. But you do this enough, and time, like you said, baby steps. She'll get it where she'll just eventually say, "Anyway, I don't need to react to this. Mom knows that dog is there. She's fine with it. I should be fine with it." Donna says, "Yes, we had to teach him how to walk in the house. Occasionally, we still have to revisit when he gets a little overexcited. Yeah, well, he's still a baby. I want Casey to be a puppy slash dog, but need her to be service as well." Um, Keep in mind, I'm M. Beth. I'm going to say it's Mary Beth. Um, a service dog is a dog that has to perform a task for a specific person. I think, in the world of the service dog, is not the family pet at that point. Um, it is a dog that's supposed to have a specific job, so it's assigned to one person in the family, and that's the only person that really should be interacting with the dog as far as a lot of it. Yes, you still want them to be a puppy. You still want them to be a dog. They have needs they need to meet, but they also have a job they have to perform. Um, and it's not a bad thing. You know, you just have to make sure, especially when you're out in public, you put the vest on the dog. It's a service dog. Don't buy the vest until you can have service dog in training, but it's not a service dog until it's certified by law. Um, and then when you bring the dog, when that vest is on, that dog is not supposed to be pet by anybody else, not supposed to interact with anybody else. That's their uniform. They're working with you, whoever you're doing for this. You know, they're being the service dog for. With Zoe, who's an emotional support dog for my daughter, when she has that vest on, ESA vest on, she knows she's not supposed to go over to anybody to be pet. That's just her job. That's her uniform. She has to act differently. Um, she has been getting a lot better with the muzzle training too. That then we can try to walk her again. Absolutely, work the muzzle. Because I know, one, the muzzle will make you more relaxed. We talked about it. I did write the letter to the vet. I forgot to CC you on it. They never got back to me to their corporate office, just so you know. Did we ever do a follow up with the vet? And how did it go? Did she act better? Did they let you in? Because I do think that's a huge disconnect with vets. Some of these dogs need their mommy and daddies to go in with them. There's nothing wrong with it. I wish these vets would get off their damn high horse on this one. So, Mary Beth, I hope that answered the question. Like I said, if you want, we can definitely chat a little bit more, and I can help you, do some research on it. But remember, guys, there's a difference between emotional support dogs. There's a difference between service dogs. There's a difference between therapy dogs. So you got to keep that in mind. There are different classifications. There's different training that's involved, and different laws and regulations and all that type of stuff. It's a whole big process. But it can be done. And again, getting back to the show that I'm going to be doing Thursday night with the Center for Discovery, where they're taking these basically feral miniature horses and they're training them to be therapy horses, which is phenomenal. And we can do that with our rescue dogs too, if you take the time and they have the right energy. I mean, a lot goes into it, but you got to take the time. You got to have the patience. And like Michelle said earlier, baby steps. They emailed me a response to my survey saying something would be in touch with me, and they never called me back. No, because they rather avoid the problem than deal with it like adult people should deal with things. That's the problem with these big vet chains taking over all our mom and pop vet shops. We're losing a lot, guys, doing this. You got Benfield, and you got VMA or VCA, whatever the hell it's called. These are huge, corporate America type places. Their bottom line is the dollar. They don't care about the human or the animal. I'm sorry, that's just my opinion. That's the opinion of Back to Basics Dog Training. That's why I tell people all the time, look for the independently owned vet that hasn't sold out to corporate America. I think you'll find more compassion. That's just reality. So guys, as always, we're at that magic half hour mark, and we're going to start wrapping this up soon, unless there's, of course, any other questions. I'll be happy to answer any questions while I'm here. If not, as always, guys, have a great weekend. Thank you for inviting me into your home this Saturday morning and each and every Saturday morning at 11 o'clock. I really do appreciate it. It does my heart good when I see those numbers pop up, the questions we get, the comments we get. So again, thank you, thank you, thank you. And as always, stay healthy, stay safe, God bless, and remember, together we can help one dog and one family at a time. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, guys.